So before we get started, we'd love to share our rap song introduction video, and we hope you enjoy.
Yeah, okay, organic base, this is what you need. Take you to the future, live a life that can be disease free. All these toxins are taxing on our bodies, no doubt. All these GMOs and these processed foods we can live without. Yeah, wanna see you live a long time. Contaminants in our water and our food supply. From the meat to the dairy and the fish, what a shame. Not realizing that my insides were inflamed. Hold up, I know it's hard to digest, that's right. I found an organic plant-based website. I even got the app, yo, this is where it's at. Promoting a healthy life, it's time to put it on the map. Assuaged, trust you don't wanna miss. It's time for you to be your best, be your healthiest. Assuaged, trust you don't wanna miss. It's time for you to be your best, be your healthiest. Hey, Assuaged, let's go.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining our student team today. We will be covering the topic of chronic diseases, lifestyle prevention, and risk factors. We'd like to thank our student speakers today, Christ Caroline Calixte, Stephanie Brown, and myself, Cynthia Cherise Murphy. We also want to thank our slide contributors, Tolulope Adebile, Jacqueline Dygert, Bethany Smith, Katherine Aybar, Kimberly Scott, Nichole McGhee. Thank you, Restream, for sponsoring our student team. Restream's powerful multi-platform streaming capabilities have broadened our reach, connecting us with diverse communities across various social media platforms. Our message of public health and wellness now reaches those who need it the most. Thank you, Restream. Today, our discussion topics will be Section 1, Chronic Diseases, Section 2, Statistics, Section 3, Risk Factors and Prevention, Section 4, Cost associated with chronic diseases.
What is a chronic disease? Chronic diseases are the results of genetic, psychological, environment, and behavioral factors. Increased risk of chronic diseases occur from rapid unplanned urbanization, unhealthy lifestyle, and population aging. Unhealthy diet and lack of physical activity leads to raised blood pressure, raised glucose, elevated blood lipids, and obesity. Risk factors: smoking, physical inactivity, excessive alcohol, high blood pressure, health disparities, high cholesterol, and poor diet. Common chronic diseases. A disease is considered chronic if it lasts a year or more. 6 out of every 10 adults have a chronic disease. 4 out of every 10 adults have 2 or more chronic disease. 7 out of every 10 deaths are caused by chronic disease. Cerebrovascular accident or stroke. A stroke, sometimes called a brain attack, occurs when something blocks blood supply to part of the brain or when a blood vessel in the brain bursts. A stroke can cause lasting brain damage, long-term disability, or even death. There are 2 types of strokes. Ischemic stroke occurs when blood clots or other particles block the blood vessels. Hemorrhagic stroke, an artery in the brain leaks blood or ruptures, breaks open. Time loss is brain loss. Every minute counts. Heart disease. Heart condition that includes disease, vessel, structural problems, and blood clots. Most common types. Coronary artery disease, damage or disease in the heart, major blood vessels. High blood pressure, a condition in which the force of the blood against the artery walls is too high. Cardiac arrest, sudden unexpected loss of the heart function, breathing, and consciousness. Congested heart failure, a chronic condition in which the heart doesn't pump blood as well as it should. Arrhythmia, improper beating of the heart, too fast or too slow. Peripheral artery disease, a circulatory condition in which narrow blood vessels reduce blood flow to the limbs. Congenital heart disease, an abnormality in the heart that develops before birth. Diabetes, type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes occurs when the immune system begins to attack and destroy the insulin producing cells in the pancreas. It is believed that viruses can trigger the disease to present itself. Type 2 diabetes is linked to a lack of physical activity and being overweight. Excess weight, especially in the belly, causes insulin resistance and fat cells do not use the insulin well. Gestational diabetes occurs during a woman's pregnancy and is linked to hormonal changes and lifestyle factors such as getting too much weight. If you develop gestational diabetes, you're most likely to develop type 2 diabetes later in life. Lung diseases. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, emphysema, asthma, chronic bronchitis, lung cancer. Lung disease refers to several types of diseases or disorders that prevent the lungs from functioning properly. Lung disease can affect respiratory function or the ability to breathe, and pulmonary function, which is how well lungs work.
1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. There are 2 main categories of cancer. Hematologic, which is blood cancers, are cancers that involve the blood cells. Blood cancers include leukemia, lymphoma, and multiple myeloma. Solid tumor cancers are cancers that affect other body organs or tissues. The most common solid tumors are breast, prostate, lung, and colorectal cancers. Thanks to American Cancer Society, 18 million cancer survivors are alive today. 1 million plus cancer screenings in undeserved communities, and $5 billion invested in cancer research since 1946. Health risk factors. This condition usually involves heart disease. This condition usually involves narrowed or blocked vessels, which leads to irregular heartbeat, high blood pressure, heart attack, stroke, and chest pain. Diabetes. There are 2 types of diabetes, but type 2 is the most common. High blood sugar increases risks of stroke, kidney disease, blindness, and potential amputation. Cancer. Most types of cancers cannot be cured, but some can be controlled for periods of time with the chance of remission. Chronic lung disease. Lung disorders affect the airways in the lungs, which becomes narrow and inflamed, preventing the body from getting necessary amounts of oxygen. Stroke typically occurs as a result of high blood pressure and or high cholesterol. 2 common types of stroke are ischemic stroke and hemorrhagic stroke. Ischemic stroke obstructs the flow of blood from entering the brain, and a hemorrhagic, oh my God, I'm saying that totally wrong, stroke happens when a blood vessel ruptures, preventing blood flow to the brain. Chronic diseases kill 41 million people each year. This is equivalent to 74% of all deaths globally, and 77% are low and middle income countries. It is important to get screened annually from your doctor. Chronic diseases account for more than 80% of all premature deaths. Tobacco use, unhealthy diets, and physical inactivity all increase the risk of dying from chronic diseases. The United States statistics from 2022 to 2023. Cancer. In 2023, in the US, there will be an estimated 1,958,310 new cancer cases and 609,820 cancer deaths. Stroke. Every year, more than 795,000 people in the United States have a stroke. About 610,000 of these are first or new strokes. Lung disease. More than 34 million Americans live with a chronic lung disease like asthma and COPD, which includes emphysema and chronic bronchitis. Heart disease. One person dies every 34 seconds in the United States from cardiovascular disease. Diabetes. 37.3 million, or 11.3% of the US population, have diabetes. An estimated 28.7 million people, or 5% of the population, had diagnosed diabetes. Approximately 8.5 million people have diabetes but have not yet been diagnosed. Global health equity. Ability to access highest level of health for all people. Focuses on valuing everyone equally in order to address avoidable inequalities and injustices to eliminate disparities in health and health care. Leading health indicators used in order to improve health and well-being over the lifespan. Leading health indicators are used to address important factors that have major impact on causes of death and diseases. Social determinants of health, economic stability, education access and quality, healthcare access and quality, neighborhood environment, and social and community context. The conditions within the environments that people interact with that can affect a community's health and quality of life outcomes and risks. Socioeconomic impact. Chronic diseases are closely linked to poverty. Healthcare costs drain household resources. Vulnerable and socially disadvantaged people get sicker and die sooner than those of higher social positions. Treatments are expensive and lengthy, which can force people into poverty. Cost of chronic diseases. Okay, so where should I start? 185 billion, which is 1.7 million people, are diagnosed each year with around 600,000 deaths every year. 216 billion, high cholesterol can double the risk of heart disease, which is stroke. 49 billion, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, was the fourth leading cause of death, which is chronic lung disease. And then heart disease, 216 billion, leading risk factors include high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Diabetes, 327 billion, which is 7.3 million Americans living with diabetes, and 96 million adults have pre-diabetes. Lifestyle risk. Tobacco use. Smoking is the leading cause of preventable disease, disability, and deaths in the United States. Poor nutrition. Poor diet leads to overweight/obesity. 20% of young people ages 2 to 17 years and 42% of adults have obesity. Lack of physical activity. About 1 in 2 adults and 77% of high school students do not get required aerobic physical activity. Excessive alcohol use can lead to various health issues and dependencies, triggering addiction and liver disease. Quit smoking. Make a plan to quit and make a list of reasons that motivate you. 1-800-QUIT-NOW can connect you to resources. Eat healthy. Drink plenty of water. Choose whole grains. Eat a variety of protein sources, and focus on fresh fresh fruits and vegetables. Increase physical activity. Adults should do 150 to 300 minutes a week of moderate intensity or 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous intensity. Limit alcohol intake. A standard drink is 12 ounces of beer, 8 ounces of malt liquor, 5 ounces of wine, and 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. We all start somewhere. Walking is one of the easiest ways to get started and begin to increase your physical activity. It's free, easy to implement, and almost everyone can do it. What can 30 minutes of daily walking do for you? Always check with your doctor about what's right for you. Start slow. Here's a couple of resources to get you started. 12-week walking schedule by the myoclinic.org. Look for a Walk with Ease program in your state, usually free or low cost. 1, walking can reduce heart disease risk by 30%. Walking also improves circulation, lowers blood pressure, and decreases resting heart rate. 2, walking has been shown to improve mood, reduce stress, and lower rates of depression. 3, research studies have shown that a walk after eating can lower blood sugar. It also helps curb cravings. 4, walking is a low-impact exercise that lubricates the muscles and joints, can also prevent osteoarthritis. 5, increase your energy levels and boost your immune system. Healthy serving sizes. So each bullet point equals 1 cup serving size or 1 ounce serving. So we have 2 cups daily of 1 cup can packed in juice, 1 small apple, 1 large banana. That's your fruit. Veggies, 2.5 cups daily, 2 cups of leafy green salad, 1 cup of cooked or raw vegetables. Whole grains, 6 ounces daily, 1 slice of whole wheat bread, 1/2 cup of cooked oatmeal. Protein, 5.5 ounces, 1/4 cup of beans, lentils, or peas, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, 1 egg. 3 cups daily of calcium, 1 cup of fortified soy milk or dairy. Fortified soy milk or dairy, 1 cup of soy or dairy yogurt for calcium.
Thank you so much, Stephanie and Caroline, for speaking on those slides. You did such an amazing job. Today, we're just going to read through the questions. We have some answers, and then we'll, at the end of the 4 questions, we'll go on camera and we will huddle since there's not many of us, and we'll kind of do a collective perspective on the topics. So, the first question: how do I reduce my risk of chronic disease? Make sure to be getting 150 to 300 minutes of moderate intensity or 75 to 150 vigorous intensity minutes each week. And that is in exercise. Eat a diet rich in fresh fruits and vegetables. Consume a variety of protein sources. Drink clean and fresh water. Quit smoking and reduce alcohol intake. Question number 2: why are chronic diseases so prevalent in the United States? Chronic diseases are so prevalent due to an increasing rise of obesity rates. American children and adults continue to exceed body weight standards due to poor diet and physical inactivity. Question number 3: how can I stretch my food budget to include healthier food choices? Eating healthy can seem very expensive, and many families are struggling with food cost amongst high inflation. There are programs to help. Double Up SNAP program. Check with your state to see if local farmers markets participate. For every dollar you spend in SNAP at participating farmers market, it is matched, allowing you to have more purchasing power for fresh fruits and veggies that support local farmers. Consider joining a local farm co-op to receive in-season fruits, vegetables, and other farm fresh products at a near wholesale cost. Check to see if you qualify for other government programs such as WIC or SNAP. I know in the state of California we have CalFresh. Consider buying frozen vegetables or canned fruit and juice to save on cost. Utilize leftovers. For example, vegetable scraps can be made into a broth. Instapots are wonderful for that. Shop the outer perimeters of the grocery store and avoid processed foods. Plan a budget, make a list, and stick to it. Question number 4. How can I make lasting changes to lower my risk? Change is hard. Life is stressful, and habits are formed. People tend to feel like it's all or nothing when it comes to change. Starting with simple goals is the best way to make lasting changes. Here are some tips. Decide to get some daily physical activity. Even 10 minutes a day counts. Increase that time as you go on and build that up to a new habit. Understand your emotional triggers and the things that stress you out. Keep a journal, talk to a friend, meditate, or enjoy some nature. Make small changes to your diet in the beginning. For example, aim for 5 servings of fruits and vegetables daily, or replace sugary drinks with water. Do that for a couple weeks and then add a new goal. So that was amazingly reflective. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the cameras here for our students to hop on this huddle. Hello, hello. So Stephanie, tell me what you thought about this whole presentation on chronic diseases and what value you would like to add.
I mean, I really like the presentation. I think it's definitely an important topic to discuss because, with us being public health students and just in general, it's always good to try to be as healthy as we can, exercise, eat, good foods, because at the end of the day, that creates longevity of life. And, it makes us be able to function better as uh, individuals. So I love it. I'm here for it. I try to, you know, abide by that. So,
Yeah, it's hard. I was kind of compelled at the end there where it's like change is hard. And, willpower, having that and sticking with things. And I think, mental health is a big part of that, having trauma and just kind of going towards what makes, those short term alleviation points of, you go to McDonald's and you get a real big, nice high, and then you're hungry again and you might be feeling left frustrated again. And I think these contaminants in our food and water supplies, they kind of cloud our judgment in just really seeing what's affecting our physical and mental state of, our body and our mind. So I know it's not overnight, and a lot of Americans, they want like a quick fix. And from what I've seen, my husband and I went through our own health changes. It took time. Like I was literally sick for a year after, making drastic health changes. Like we went vegan and everything. We've done several different diets and we're still trying to figure it out. And that's what intuitive eating's about too, is like what works for your body. Finding those components is really helpful. So I just
I
wanted
think
to add.
that is important. Just one more thing to add, because you know what? It's almost like easier said than done, because also it's not always affordable to maintain a healthy lifestyle. You have the cost of, if you want to actually go to the gym, that costs to have a membership. And then the price of healthy food is just, especially organic. If you like organic, it's just way more expensive than, regular healthy food. And then non-healthy food is less expensive. And it's like you say, it's easier to have access to it because McDonald's is right next door, as opposed to now you got to go maybe get some healthy food, prepare it, and, but it's a work in progress. You're right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. Caroline, you have to have something to say. What do you think, my dear?
I was also gonna comment about like the change is hard, like having a routine to follow, like day to day, even if it's a small one. Like every morning, eat a fruit that will help you. That will help progress every time that you do it.
So like eating like different varieties of fruits. And I'm not a big fruit person, but I'm starting to kind of embrace it a little bit more, especially when you like infuse your water with fruit. And you can do that with some vegetables too, like, well, cucumber. I don't even know if that's considered a fruit or a vegetable, but you can do like cucumber water with oranges, and really find those kind of taste preferences that resonate with you, because we're all different. Um, we have another business, and we formulate products, and one of our dogs loves one of our sprays, and I love it, but our other dog is like, ugh. And then so everyone has different preferences, and you really just have to figure out what resonates with you and what makes you feel good. And analyze yourself too, because when we're not doing so well physically, mentally, that is rooted to diet. And just analyzing, maybe you are a little impulsive, or you don't think properly, or you jump the gun on things like that could kind of determine, maybe I need to look at my diet a little bit more. Maybe I am eating a lot more meat than I should, or dairy. Like, I noticed when I've had a little bit too much dairy, I get a lot of phlegm. So, those are kind of things to look out for, and just, be your healthiest for yourself. So, awesome. Do you guys have anything else to add?
I mean, but exercise also goes hand in hand with our
Yeah.
diet. I think exercise is definitely important, and I think that is also might be a struggle for. I can speak for myself because um, I have a gym membership, but I'm not as dedicated as going to the gym maybe 3-4 times a week. And sometimes I might go to the gym and then I stop going to the gym and fall into the old habits of, oh, I'll start next week. But I really do feel like you feel better when you exercise, even if it's baby steps, like they said in the slides, even if it's starting off as a walk, a nice little walk around your neighborhood, even if you can't afford a gym membership, being able to look up and incorporate maybe things that you can do at home and utilize different things that you have at home where it's free. But when we do exercise and we put that hand in hand with eating good, maybe fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, you do feel better just during the day. You might not be as sluggish, and it just feels good. So I think exercise is equally important.
Absolutely. I'm guilty of that one. I, do so much, and I'm on the computer, and I feel like I'm working towards those gradual changes. We're actually building like a little mini gym at home right now. So, we got a free motion machine. I've never used one of those, but I guess they're pretty popular in the gyms. For me, gyms like gross me out, like with all the sweat and like, I put my hand on a piece of equipment. I'm like, oh my God. It's just like, but yeah, it's, one of those things. And then I've tried to do like the Zumba in there, and I just felt so awkward. Like, I just kind of I'm really social. Like, I love people, but I guess, it's just depending on what your comfort zone is, and if, you're not a germaphobe like
Right.
I am. So, but no, I admire your physique, your finesse, and all of that. That's really important. And there's things we all have to work on, and so that's in order so we can be our healthiest self. So thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
And yoga is really good too. You can look up because like I said, I have a gym app, but a gym membership. I don't go like I should. Um, and I feel like when you can pull something up, it's just easier when I can pull something up on my phone, maybe even like a yoga app, because it's not, as strenuous, because cardio is probably my, weakness. It's just like, okay, I prefer to do yoga. It's more, you know, for meditating purposes and spiritual purposes. And so, like you said, you just kind of got to find what works best for us as an individual. And even if, it's a person that doesn't like to go to the gym, we have access to our phones now and can do all these things in the comfort and privacy of our own home.
I love that. I definitely want to look more into. I mean, I have a yoga mat. two of them. And so I want to get more into that. There's YouTube videos, there's, like you said, apps, there's so many different methods out there, and it's free. You don't necessarily have to pay for an app. You can maybe build a little section at home, for your own little personal spot to work out or go outside walking. So many alternatives, but the gym is a great place, just to have access to all that equipment and, people, like we want to be a little social, right? In the midst of all of it. But no, I love this conversation today, and you guys couldn't have covered all the content more clearer. And do you guys have anything else to add?
I don't.
No. You guys are wonderful. This is great. All
Thank
right.
you for you. Thank you.
Yeah, go team. With that, we will go ahead and close out the presentation today. Thank you so much to all of our students that spoke, Stephanie Brown, Caroline, and for all the contributions. And we will see you next time. Thank you.